So there are heaps of vegetables that you can feed your bristlenose pleco. In this video I'm going to be listing 10 of them. There are a bunch more, but I'm just going to be listing 10. First one will be cucumber. This is probably the one that people know about to feed their plecos the most. Look at this very regular looking cucumber. Cucumber's really good for your bristlenoses. Don't feed to them every day. It should be like a treat, so feed them every like 4 or 5 days. I usually peel it too, because I've got so many babies and they like to munch off of it whilst it's hard to get through the skin. But you can do whatever you want. Just stab a fork through it or anything that sinks, and then put it in the tank, and they should just eat it. Another really good vegetable for your bristlenoses would be steamed or boiled broccoli. You don't really have to stab it or anything. You can just steam, boil it, whatever. As usual, don't feed too much of it because obviously it's like a vegetable, it's like a human food sort of thing, and they wouldn't usually eat that in the wild unless there were like a bunch of people smoking and like just throw it into the river. The third really good food for your bristlenoses would be carrots. I did the math. Only 50% of the things on this list are steamed or boiled. It may seem like it's like all of them are. I promise it's not all. Steamed or boiled carrot is really good. You just steam or boil it, obviously. Chop it up. Make sure it's mushy, or else they will have a hard time chewing through it. And I don't think they like it as much as the cucumber, but they definitely do like it. Or I guess it sort of depends on your fish, but my bristlenoses, they'll eat a lot of it, but they prefer cucumber and all the other stuff more. So you don't need to stab a fork through it or anything, it just floats to the bottom. It sinks to the bottom, and they'll just munch it down there. You can also feed them beans. Good old baked beans. No, just kidding. Green beans. Eat your greens. So I'd usually stab them on a fork to sink them down to the bottom. You can steam yours, or you can give it to them raw. I haven't really steamed them or boiled them yet and tried it yet. I've just fed them to them raw the whole time. But you can just stab it and cut it up and stick the whole thing in there. And they'll just eat away at that. Sometimes they will take a long time to finish it, so you'll have to pull it out early. In case it rots and destroys the tank, you know. Boiled spinach is also a really good vegetable to feed them. It's super easy, just chuck it in a pan or a pot, boil it, take it out. Spinach is a really good food source. It's good for them, it's also got iron in it. Don't feed too much though. Obviously, all the other things. You gotta give them a stable diet like prawns and bloodworms and all the other things that you usually feed them. Boiled peas are really good. Make sure you take them out of the pod and then boil them and then take them out of the little shell that they're in, like individual shell that they're in, and so they're soft, and then just chuck it all in. They'll eat that. Not much explaining, obviously, just sort of listing the things. Boiled or steamed cauliflower is a good one too. I would just boil most of these. Steaming, unless there's like an easy way, which is easy. Steaming things is easy. It's just you gotta like have the pot of boiling water, put the steamy thing on top, put the thing on, put the lid on. You just chuck them in water and boil them for a while on the stove. Find that much easier. Capsicum's also a really good one. Don't feed them maybe the spicy capsicums, like chilies. Because you'll burn their faces off. You don't want to do that to your children. Not really your children, you didn't really give birth, your adoptive children. So make sure you just get capsicum. Doesn't have to be boiled or anything, just grab some capsicum, chuck it in. Another really good food for bristlenoses is algae. I know that's not what we call a vegetable, or maybe it is in some places, but I've never heard people call it a vegetable. But you know what? What if bristlenoses call it a vegetable? Who said bristlenoses can't come up with their own words for things? They probably call it something like, I'm gonna go out and eat some of that Granang-chigung. I don't know. I'm gonna go out and eat some oxygen. Maybe they call algae oxygen and they call oxygen something else. But it probably is a vegetable to them. They probably call it a vegetable. Or they probably don't call it a vegetable. They probably speak a completely different language. Or like, they probably don't even talk. I don't know. The last food I want to talk about then eating is decaying plants. This is like a lot of the time confused with like, my Bristlenose is eating all my plants. Which, yeah, sometimes they do eat your plants. I haven't actually had too much of a problem with that, but like, I've got like a half-dead Java fern leaf. I don't know if the camera, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but there's like a big Java fern leaf in there. It's gone all brown, and my Bristlenose likes to eat holes through it. So they will eat decaying plants. They won't eat poop. They might accidentally, but like, they don't purposely eat poop. That is gross. They don't. But they will eat like decaying leaves, decaying stems. My Bristlenose, I had this like really pretty plant, and it was dying in one of my tanks, so I decided to put it in there. But he just ate it to death, just devoured it. So be careful with that. And those are the 10 foods I wanted to talk about in this video. Just like the 10 vegetables I wanted to talk about in this video. If you found this useful, please consider liking or subscribing. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Still don't know how to make a good outro.